Hello and welcome everyone. I'm the endurance you need in order to conquer CJ Middle, and today we're marching towards Summit by Thou. Thou is another band that I've known about for a while, but never got around to listening to them until, well, recently. And I'm quite glad I did, actually. Released in 2010, Thou brings a slow-paced, slow-burn style album here. However, don't be fooled by that statement, for this album will flatten you out like a motherfucking pancake. Damn, pancakes sound good right now, actually. Hold on here. Sorry about that, everyone. I made some Kodak pancakes and then ate them. I mean, if you've had Kodak, you know they're not exactly the greatest thing on earth, but, you know, they have protein and stuff, so they fill you up pretty good. Anyways, where was I? All right, okay, so the band brings the sludge, and it's thick, and it's heavy, just like my last date. And that's why you do not trust profile pictures. Anyways, moving on from that little side note. On this album are sludge-filled, doom-stylized riffs. Of course, though, that sounds like, well, pretty much any sludge doom metal album. But what makes this album different from others in the genre is the inclusion of lighter instruments and the addition of other metal genre elements as well. Of course, I'm sure you're all aware that the opposite of heavy is, of course, more heavy. No, I'm just kidding, it's light. So in order to provide a contrast, the band brought in some organ, some cleanish sounding guitar, piano, and a violin as well. These instruments are spread across the album, so you won't hear them all used up at once. And I admit, I didn't actually think adding these kinds of instruments to this style, or even sludge in general, would necessarily work. Of course, I'm talking about this album, so obviously I was wrong. So the band on here really lets their slow, heavy sound be the forerunner of what you hear, and the other instruments act more as a background, or, you know, like I mentioned before, they're a contrast, obviously, but they're not as apparent. If it was like the other way around, and like the sludge was more of the background and the lighter stuff was more up front, then I don't really think this album would have worked as well. Just by adding these background elements, the band also adds a subtle melancholic tone. Now, that's just the way I interpreted it. I don't know if it's supposed to be something else, but, you know, that's just the way I got it. And it just goes to show that even just adding these small little subtle touches can have a big impact, and that not everything has to be, you know, blown into the listener's ear. Now, I should probably also mention the vocals on here, which are, I guess, what you would call hardcore bass. That means they're not growls, but they're more like higher pitch shifted loud shouting. You know, it's basically what you would hear if you were listening to like Power Violence or any of those harder punk genres. I know a lot of vocalists use, you know, the more hardcore based vocals, and anyways, the point is it just goes well with the album. I honestly really enjoy this good/great album. I mean, the little subtle changes do add a lot, and I found it to be a very pleasurable listen. If you're looking for a sludge doom album with some drone and a little flair, I probably should have mentioned that before, that this is also drone, so it does repeat often, but I didn't really think it affected it that much. I also forgot to mention that this album, I guess, is a little experimental for the band. Not all of their albums are like this. If you like what's on here, I guess you could go see if there's anything that they did like after this one that sounds more like this one, because I'm pretty sure everything before this album was nothing like this. Just thought I'd let you all know. I would still recommend this album regardless. Anyways, that's all I got for this review. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you tell a friend to do the same. I almost forgot what I was supposed to say, but I came back and finished it strong. Not really. I'm slowly getting more subscribers on here, so, you know, that's pretty cool. And as I said before, I'm trying to get a little more creative with these videos and stuff to make them a little more entertaining for y'all. Hopefully you're watching these. I will see you at the next review.